was just trying to make this awkward for you. I was going to see how long you'd sit here silently before we started.
Well, I'm just staring at Emma Stone, so I have a good view.
That makes sense. Today we are talking about hating everything. This is not directed at one specific person or YouTuber or personality online or anything like that. It's more just a general audience thing, I've noticed. I also know that it is a grift to hate everything. And what I mean by that is there are YouTube channels and Twitch channels and people like that whose whole character is hating things. And I understand that. And I understand a lot of the times that's comedy, like satire. And it is funny, okay? I've told Nate 100 times, Bill Burr seems to hate absolutely everything. He could walk into my house, tear apart my entire lifestyle and everything I own, and I would walk away laughing. So there are people who I think make this work and are funny and have a personality, and you know it's a joke. But I've noticed that there's a lot of people in general now, especially in the last 10 years, who think that hating everything in real life is a personality trait.
Yeah.
This is sort of a hipstery thing, I suppose, but it's basically the idea of the guy who anytime you mention something popular to him or anytime you mention something you enjoy has 500 reasons why it's bad and why you should instead be watching like Battlestar Galactica or some, smaller thing. I'm not taking a dump on that.
Right.
But it'll be something like, hey, I like Star Trek, but you haven't watched Andromeda. Right. And they'll give you 500 reasons why Star Trek sucks and you're a moron for liking it.
Yeah.
I've kind of grown tired of this attitude. This is something we were going to talk about today because I go both ways on this. If you love everything, if you have no standards at all for media, everything is the best thing you've ever seen, you probably either don't like much actually, are the most easily impressed person in the world, which, hey, good for you. Hopefully you're happy. Or you don't understand your own taste, right? You just like everything. And the problem with that is that allows Hollywood, gaming, even, authors of books to write whatever drivel they want and you'll suck it down. Okay, so that's not good because that makes everything worse. But if you hate absolutely everything and nobody can ever please you, everybody you talk to about things, you're dragging the conversation down and being negative and upsetting them and they don't want to be in the same room as you and talk to you, I feel like that's a problem too. And that's become a big personality trait to just take a dump on absolutely everything ever made and anyone who likes it.
Yeah, it seems to be especially prevalent on like Twitter.
Yes.
Where like anytime anything comes out, it could be a movie, it could be a game, it could be anything.
Dude, Jesus Christ could come back, prove that he is the Son of God to everyone, and there would be someone on Twitter canceling you if you agreed with him.
Right. Yeah, it's just
the best movie ever could be written objectively, and someone would come up with a reason why you're a moron for liking it on Twitter.
Well, yeah, and I feel like a movie like Lord of the Rings: Return of the King could come out in 2021, and yet I would watch and be like, "This was awesome," and then I could go on Twitter and everyone would be like, "This was the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. How could you like this?"
Right.
And my problem with this is a lot of people have evolved from the simply "I didn't enjoy this" phase to the let's attack you and your entire belief system and call you names and make you feel like you should self-delete yourself because you enjoyed this thing.
I saw this the other day because I talked on Twitter about how I liked The Matrix Resurrections. Now, to be fair,
it's woke.
I did also say that people who called this woke were kind of idiots. So that is a name I threw out there, but here's the reason for that. People throw these terms around no matter what just to justify why they are not interested in something too. This is that same crowd of hating everything. Like, this is the crowd who would see Lando Calrissian in a trailer today and say that, like, black people are taking over our jobs and they're gonna, like, take out Harrison Ford and replace him in the movie or something. Like, there's just, like, a bad attitude around a lot of these people. And I get that I don't throw this term around much. A lot of those people who actually think that, like, anytime they see, like, a person who's not white or whatever, they have racist attitudes, okay? There are a lot of people like that. But it doesn't just extend to that. Like, I'm talking people who will see, like, a woman in the trailer and call the movie woke.
Right.
That kind of stuff was happening with The Matrix. And I just said, like, hey, I just watched the movie, and I feel like a lot of people didn't understand the original movies if they think this is woke. And just because one moronic, film critic compared it to The Last Jedi to likely drum up controversy and get their outlet more clicks, people are judging this thing beforehand. That's dumb. Like, why do we have to hate everything? And also, why do we have to hate everything before it's even out?
Right.
I saw this a lot with even No Way Home. Like, for No Way Home, I criticized the marketing, but I always said that I thought the movie would be good. And there were a lot of people ahead of time saying, no, this movie's going to flop. It's trying to include too much. And now they're walking away with egg on their faces, backpedaling about how much they love Far From Home, too.
Yeah, it's on pace to get over 1 billion.
Yeah. And it's really funny to me because it really is this idea of I have to hate things to stand out.
Yeah.
That's really what I think it is.
Yeah, and I think it's just the old adage of why a lot of our media too is so negative. Why they like stirring up controversy and all this stuff. It's because that stuff gets clicks. I mean, in not to like this is not about the media, but in terms of the media, what is more likely to get a click? Guy saves cat from tree, or racist white person brutally slaughters innocent unarmed black person. Like, I'm just saying,
right? It's something
it's
like hugely controversial.
It's really controversial, and that might not even be the full story. They just put that as the title because it gets clicks. And I think the same thing goes with like movies and games that come out where, it's like, oh, well, this movie, maybe it's not the greatest thing to ever been made, right? Maybe it's just a good movie and that's it. But yet people will go on here and be like, oh, well, this and that and this and that, we're so bad about it. And I think it's literally just because that's what gets views. Because people will go on that and be like, oh, hey, why was that bad? And I think that's kind of permeated into everyone else, where everyone else, like random virgins that don't ever leave Twitter, will go online and be like, oh, time to be negative.
Well, it's not even just on Twitter, though, too, because I think...
Right, it's also in real life and other sites.
You've experienced this, too, even at work when you try to talk to people about movies you enjoy.
Yeah.
You told me, a lot of times you'll bring up movies you enjoy to just people you work with or meet, and they'll find 500 things about why that's bad.
Right.
They can't have a conversation about something they enjoy in the context of it, or your thing. They need to make it about them. And it's sort of an intellectual superiority battle type thing of like, I'm smarter than you because I can point out flaw X, Y, and Z.
Right.
I've never understood this. I bring it up occasionally. We both have, what would you say? I would say I have 6 years of college. You have, what, 5?
14. Who's counting?
14. And we have the same degree equivalent.
Right.
Basically, what I mean by that...
I actually had 3.5.
Okay, so what I mean by that is you got through your degree quicker.
Right, because I'm smarter. But
and I got through my degree slower because I needed extra help.
Right.
And I was a huge moron.
Right.
But I think it's kind of disingenuous to whip out intellectual superiority every time a conversation comes up.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if every time I started my YouTube video about why I thought something and I flashed my college degree, like, what? I have like 5 years of college.
Right.
I technically have 2 degrees. I have an associate's degree and a bachelor's degree somewhere else.
I also have 2 degrees.
So you can't argue with me.
Yeah.
Well, your 1 degree is invalidated. I made sure of that.
Oh, okay. All right.
I slept with the dean of the college.
Oh, got it.
We're going to kick you out.
The dean of the college guy.
Just all part of the plan. All part of the plan. I happened to just sleep with him, and then I realized he was the dean. So I got your degree.
I understand.
It was actually just for fun originally. But no, like, I feel like that's what it is. It's sort of like a credentialist thing.
Yeah.
Of like whipping out the idea of like, I'm so smart because I can take down why you like Transformers. Meanwhile, like you said, there are certain things like that, or even Call of Duty, that some people just have fun with. They have their reasons why they have fun with. They won't argue it's objectively good. And they enjoy it. And that's fine. You're not really breaking new ground by telling someone that if they like the movie Bumblebee, they're a cuck.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that really bothers me about today is I feel like everyone has this attitude about them that every single thing needs to be Return of the King level quality or else it's awful. And it's like, to me, that's a stupid mindset because, like, for example, no one is out here arguing G.I. Joe Retaliation is like, the next Citizen Kane, or like, you know, I don't know, just some like great, like Gone with the Wind level quality of classic film. Nobody is saying that. Even people who this is their favorite movie ever will probably never argue that it's like this fantastic of a movie. It's just they like the movie. They want to see like Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow sword fight. They want to see like...
Oh, I want to see that.
I want to see that too. They want to see like The Rock whipping out the Johnson, you know,
right.
and like... Yeah,
Drain my cock Johnson.
Exactly. I don't know. It's like, that's why people enjoy these movies, or like Transformers, or, you know, Bumblebee. I know, actually that's Transformers. But like any of these other movies where it's like, people just watch these movies and have fun. And like if I pull up on Twitter and say, I liked Dark of the Moon, I would get murdered on Twitter. Like everyone would like be whipping out their like credentials. Everyone would be like talking to me as if they were like, you know, the greatest movie critic of all time. Everyone would be telling me I should like go off myself. And it's like, it's stupid.
Yeah,
it's a stupid mindset.
Well, you had this with the prequels. I don't think either of us will... Star Wars, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't think either of us will sit and argue the prequels are objectively the best movies ever made. I don't think
fun.
I don't think so at all. And you like them even more than I do.
Yeah.
And I love them with the context of Clone Wars, right? But the thing is, back when we were kids, I remember when you liked the prequels, and I liked them too, but you were more vocal about it. People would just tear into you.
Yeah. I got like bullied, like legitimately. Like, I got made fun of.
It was never an argument of here's why they're the best.
Yeah.
It was just, oh, I really like them.
Yeah.
And that's enough to set people off.
Right. Yeah, it's just I don't get it. I don't get the attitude of I need to tear everyone down. I'm always right about everything. And by the way, being right means being like negative 24/7. I don't get this attitude.
And never admit that you're wrong.
Right.
So like the same people who, that's the thing too, is when I change my opinion, I almost always try, unless I forgot my previous opinion, okay? Because that does happen sometimes. Like, for example, I watched The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I forgot that before that came out, I had said some stuff about how, like, I hoped that they weren't going to tokenize Sam. And I forgot I said that. Nobody even pointed it out, but it's something I noticed in my old videos after that came out. Was like, oh, I didn't remember saying that. Well, I'm glad they didn't. But when, you know, when you change your opinion, I feel like it's good to vocalize that.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you're an, I don't know what you'd say, like invaluable source, or it means that no one will listen to you. I have way more respect for people who can admit when they're wrong. Like
Absolutely.
for example, and this is just an example that came up to me, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'm not sitting here arguing it's the best movie ever made at all, but I did not give that movie a lot of credit for things that it deserved credit for when it came out, because I was angry about different things in my own life and also going into it with a negative attitude.
Yeah.
And now that I don't feel that way and I watched it again, I felt differently. And I vocalized in my review of those Andrew Garfield movies of like, hey, my opinion changed on this.
Yeah.
I feel like that's important to do. You know, I don't understand why people are so afraid to admit that they are wrong. You know, I was wrong too about Spider-Man's inclusion in the Avengers game. I thought it was going to be handled with a ton more care than it was. And I'm happy that the people who enjoy it do, but it's not what I thought it would be. And I said, hey, I thought this would be better than it was, and I feel bad about that, but that's what I thought generally. Or, for example, you know, the people reaming us on No Way Home and stuff we thought about it before that movie came out. And I'm not going to spoil that movie here because this is unrelated, but those people did not admit they were wrong.
Right.
They just quietly slinked away. You know, this is something I've noticed is people behave really snake-like.
Yeah.
They have to be right, and if they're wrong, they're going to divert attention from that at all costs.
Right.
Or if they like something that's bad, they're going to divert attention from that at all costs and really like shadow box and you know, gaslight you to show you why like they like it, but that doesn't work for the thing you like.
Right.
It's really disingenuous.
Yeah, and it's kind of a stupid entitled mindset that people have nowadays.
Well, it's basically I'm God.
Yep.
I mean, that's kind of like what it is like I'm the intellectual god of the room and the things I believe are true.
Right. Yeah, every time they like enter into a online chat or like a real life chat, it's like, everyone step aside. I have something important to say.
Right. It's self-importance. That's, you know, and that's something too that I will say that I don't like about what I do. I think it's very easy with even something like YouTube to think, I have 97,000 subscribers, right? I can't imagine someone like PewDiePie who actually gets insane views or something.
Yeah.
I would think it would be very easily to isolate yourself and think like, well, I'm an intellectual deity here. People follow me and they agree with me, and I can't be wrong.
Right.
And you see this a lot of the times with people doubling or tripling down on some stupid ass thing they said or did and thinking like, well, I can't be in the wrong because people like me. That's not how it works.
Right.
You know, like I could come out here with 500 trillion subscribers, more people than exist. Martians subscribe to me. I could come out here, you know, with every single person in the world on planet Earth subscribed, leaving a like blow past PewDiePie, maybe blow PewDiePie on the way. And
on the bridge.
I could still be wrong.
Right.
Or I could still have a dumb take. And I will, you know, defend my take. If somebody points out a take and says, I think this is dumb, and, you know, I'm looking at the amount of people who agreed with me and I'm looking at my take, it could be that a ton of people agreed with me and I'm still wrong.
Yeah.
Or it could be that that person I still disagree with and I defend my take. I feel like you need to actually analyze what you're saying a little bit and do a little bit of introspection to actually think about, why do I think this?
Yeah.
And I feel like the people who hate everything or love everything, on the other hand, and can have no critiques of anything, don't have the personal self-awareness to do that. I think that's kind of the problem with it, is that I think a lot of these people are very insecure. That's something I noticed when I was talking about Matrix Resurrections and why I liked it, was that there was a lot of insecure people like commenting on that post and getting in arguments with each other and stuff like that about like why they were right. And a lot of those people I often just ignore. I think one of them, now I'm not going to say he was this, but one of them, somebody like took a screenshot of something he had said in the past that came off super racist.
Yeah.
And was like to that person, like, dude, you're like critiquing this review, but you're like out here saying bullshit, like that's pretty bad on the same site. Like, what are you doing? And I'm not saying that that's, you know, like I'm not saying cancel this person, right? But like I'm saying there's a lot of like hateful, angry people who like seek out positivity to tear it down, who like on their own time are also causing a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
And trying to drag everyone around them down and make people mad, and they think they're the intellectually superior person in the room. And I think that that's kind of a problem. I think when you go into anything with the attitude of, I can justify anything I say and I'm right because I'm me.
Yeah.
Nobody should be listening to you. You know, and if I come out there with that attitude of, I'm Degenerate Jay, here's why I'm right, because of who I am.
Right.
That's just not how it works, man. That's not how taste works. That's not how opinion works. And I think it's really important to realize that a lot of these movies, there are objective things that can be critiqued from a film criticism, film school aspect, okay? Like aspect ratio or color grading and things like that. Those can be
colorblind.
Yeah. Well, then you can't. You
can't.
don't get to enjoy the movie. Every movie is ableist now. But you know, there are things that you can look at objectively for sure. But most of it is subjective.
Right.
You know, it's probably like an 80-20 situation where like 20% of it is writing style. Like I can analyze those things. Did this movie have rising action, climax, falling action? Did it tell a 3 plot structure story?
Yeah.
Did it use symbolism effectively, or was it just nonsense? Things like that you can actually analyze, but there's also just a lot of opinion. And I think those both have to matter.
Right. Well, and you have to also weigh both sides and understand that both sides matter, like you said. Like, for example, Gone with the Wind, I understand it's a really good classic movie. I get all the awards it has. It didn't just get those awards for no reason. There's a reason.
It got them because it's woke.
Right, exactly. I don't like the movie.
Right.
I find it boring.
Right.
But I'm not going to sit around and be like, wow, you like Gone with the Wind? Wow. Woo-hoo.
Right.
You know, it's like if someone enjoys the movie, great, it's a good movie. I don't like it. I'm not going to go out and buy the movie.
Well, I think you also
It's
just
like-
pointed out something that's important to recognize is you can dislike something and still think it's good.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like, the movie's good. I recognize that. I don't like it. There you go. Like,
Right.
I'm not going to, like, go on, like, Gone with the Wind's official Twitter page and, like, just go rip into the movie.
You're not going to search up the hashtag to get mad at it?
No, I'm not. Like, and I don't get that attitude of people nowadays. I legitimately do not understand the attitude.
No.
Like, you can enjoy something, you can dislike something, but why are you attacking people? Why is it like your life goal to bring everyone else down? Why is your life goal to make everyone else feel like idiots? Because they like something that you don't like.
I always thought it was the same thing that people say about bullies. And I know that this is a cliche. This is an overused cliche, but I always thought it was the same thing where it's kind of like people who are unhappy with their own lives and unhappy with things that are hurting in some way, whether it's like mentally or physically or whatever, and they're angry, they don't know any better but to spread that.
Right.
You know, and they kind of, it takes a little bit of the pain away if they make other people feel that way.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I think it is. I don't know. Do you have anything else to wrap up with this? I'm just kind of sick of the attitude. Like, I really think you should be able to have critiques of it. Like, if I release a video, and I'm not just justifying myself here, if I release a video and I say, hey, I'm kind of worried about this stuff in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, I shouldn't have people jumping down my throat that I hate everything. Because I'm positive, like, probably 80% of the time.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous to me. But also, I feel like if your entire thing is just, I'm better than everyone because I dislike everything, I don't see how that's an interesting personality trait. And also, I would never want to be around you as a person because you're not fun.
Right. Yeah, I think the only other thing I have to add is just, I'm also kind of sick, and this is going to be a very quick point.
No, that's fine. I talked a lot.
I'm also kind of sick of the attitude. You brought this up a little bit earlier of going into something already thinking you're going to hate it.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like, now I understand this movie's not the greatest, but I'm in the same boat of Rise of Skywalker.
No, actually, I
feel like a lot of people watched The Last Jedi and they went into Rise of Skywalker like, this movie is going to suck. And all the reviews of that movie were bad. Everyone online like just takes dumps on the movie, and everyone online takes dumps on other people because they like the movie. And it's basically like the popular thing to hate the movie, and no one ever gave it a chance. The movie wasn't even out yet, and I was reading people online just being like, this movie's awful. And it's like, how do you know this? And it's like, well, The Last Jedi was horrible. It's like, this is a new movie. Like, This is not The Last Jedi.
Right.
And again, it has flaws, but I felt like it got a very unfair treatment because everyone just wanted to hate the movie. And I'm also sick of that attitude too.
And one closing thought too is that people have politicized movies in different ways. It was a political take that The Matrix Resurrections would be bad before it came out.
Yeah.
Do you know why it was a political take? There was a black guy prominent in the trailers. There was a girl with blue hair in the trailer.
Oh man.
And one critic compared it to The Last Jedi, which people hated, and people fairly, I don't know what I'd say. Like, The Last Jedi is one of those things that's like, on the left it is beloved and on the right it is hated. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, like, I don't think either of them is really right. Mm-hmm. I think that movie, without giving a full review, throws away some of the writing of Luke Skywalker, which upset me, does some very interesting things with Rey and Kylo, which is good.
Yeah.
Wastes time on side quests with people like Finn that I don't think was necessary, and includes characters like Holdo that I don't think Holdo was woke. I just don't think she was written well.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's looking at it as a movie. Mm-hmm. They're looking at it as like liberals versus conservatives. And I think that if you take anything and do that with it, if I go into the first Matrix movie and I say, I'm going to walk away with a list of things that make this woke, I could find that. I mean, the entire movie is a black guy mentoring a white guy. So what is it? Is it about like black supremacy? Is it about how white people can't figure things out?
I think so.
You know what I mean? or like how like
is a woman in the first movie?
Yes.
Woke.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying is if you go into things looking for that stuff, instead of pointing it out when it's glaringly obvious, this is something I talked to Jill about. Marvel. Well, no, yeah, Captain Marvel is true. That is true, because Captain Marvel is glaringly obvious with its like pro-woman power thing, and how every man character is kind of like silly or stupid. But, you know, another movie like that, if you think about it, is No Way Home. I guarantee you I could go into No Way Home and look for bad CGI.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? When it's glaringly obvious in a movie like that there's like something that looked bad, or in Endgame, or even in like the original Justice League, not Zack Snyder's, but the Joss Whedon one.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that being glaringly obvious and you notice it. But if you go in looking for it, you're going to find those problems.
Right.
With anything. If I go into No Way Home and I say, I have 2 pens and papers in front of me, and I say, this is my woke list and this is my list of non-inclusivity, okay? And I make it political, I can find stuff on both sides.
Right.
Why isn't the movie about Miles Morales? Why is a white Spider-Man the head of it?
Mm-hmm.
You can find anything to bitch about in these things, but that doesn't make you cool. And that's what I'm getting at is, you don't need to be the next Ebert and Roper or whatever to be important in your own life.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you're going to your job at a school or a gas station or an airport or whatever, or an office building, and your big thing is coming home online and shitting on people, I feel like you're a very insecure person.
Mm-hmm. And you probably shouldn't have internet.
Right. And the internet's given the wrong people voices.
Yeah.
It really has. Where people are rewarded just for being a dick.
Yeah.
And that's not constructive.
No. It doesn't help any situation.
No, and it doesn't help media get better. Because it also just makes it where now movie companies ignore fan opinion.
Yeah.
Because they think fans are morons.
Mm-hmm.
Because they'll see fans go online and complain about, like, why wasn't there enough LGBTQ characters in this one movie? Or on the other side, they'll see fans complain about why was there an LGBTQ character in this movie? And they're like, oh, all these people are idiots.
Yeah.
Well, we're just going to do whatever we want because we know better than you. So then it isolates the creators into an echo chamber too, where they just won't listen to anyone. It's just bad for everything. And I'm really sick of it. I don't know. This went a little longer than I thought it would. I think we're pretty much. I think we're pretty much done. Probably.
I think we've finished our rants. Basically, to stop being a dick.
Yeah, seriously, it's like, not cool. It's not popular. If you have criticisms of something, please, by all means, voice it. But if you look at your opinions and everything is about how you hate everything, self-examination, I think, is kind of in order.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know what you think in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more content. We appreciate it very much. In the description down below, we have a secondary channel, Degenerate Plays, where we play through a ton of games and hang out with you guys, and also all kinds of social media like Twitter, thriving Discord community. You know, there's all kinds of stuff down there we hope you'll check out. Have a fantastic day, and as always, everyone, stay shway.